to another one. This video is going to be the first in a series of videos regarding compositional techniques. It's not something I've ever really touched on the channel, but I learned all about it when I was at college. So I'm going to start this video with a very obvious one and a very easy one to execute, and that's leading lines. Now I'm using the Sony a6000 today. I'm starting with the 30mm Sigma. I've got the 50mm with me, and I've got a 16mm with me. So it's going to be a variation of those three lenses, depending on whatever suits the composition best. Now, when you see all over the internet, and what's very popular is using the road or the street lines and getting really low and making those lines lead to a specific subject, be it a car or a person. So that's what I'm going to look for first, because in Hull where I live, there are lots of these narrow cobble streets, so it's very easy to achieve. So all I really have to do for this to work here is wait for a subject to pass the top of the street, be it a bike or a person or whatever. All right, so there we go. This isn't leading lines, but it's quite a cool shot. Alright, so a quick word about focal length and how it affects your leading lines. Using something like a 30 on an APS-C gives you that 45mm full frame look, so you're in that normal focal range look. But if you use something like the 16, that puts you at 24mm, and that really exaggerates the lines and forces them to start wider at the edges of the frame and fall off narrower towards the center of the frame. So I'm going to switch to that right now and try and put that into practice. Right, so just over here at the end of this grass, I'm going to turn around and face the opposite way and face the college, and I'm going to take the same shot twice. I'm going to take the first shot with the 16mm, and I'm going to do the same shot again with something like the 50mm, so you can see the difference the focal length has, or the effect the focal length has on the lines inside of the image. So when we say leading lines, what exactly are we talking about? Well, it's any line within an image that guides your viewer's eye. Now, the aim of the use of leading lines is to lead your viewer to exactly what you want them to see. Now, it doesn't have to be something as obvious and blatant as a handrail or painted lines on the road. It can be a tree line or the bank of a river. In street, it's very easy to find leading lines because you are literally in the street. You've got painted lines, you've got handrails and walls and all kinds of stuff. But in nature, it's a little bit different. Right, so I'm having a bit of a time finding a nice sweepy road, you know, like a long curved bend in the city. So I think we're going to go out of the city to show you this, because I know a perfect spot, and then we'll come back to pick up back in the city. So let's go there. All right, so we've got this nice sweepy road, curves off nicely. We've got these two walkers with a dog. So my first shot here is going to be those guys once they get to the bottom of that road. And they're going to be quite small in the frame because I'm using the 30mm. But yeah, it's going to be a cool shot. So as soon as they get into the more lit up area further down there, that's when the shot's going to happen. All right, let's get back to the streets.